So every now and then, I like to just, watch videos of up and coming games, or go on Humble Bundle and see if there's anything new there, or sometimes just even like browse Steam to see if there's any new up and coming games for like niche genres that aren't normally like readily available, or even really kind of to be people don't really seem to care about showing them around. And one of those niches is like monster taming, right? And what I mean by monster taming, I mean like you got like your Pokemon, you got like your classic Digimon, like you some way or another you capture a guy, a monster, a dude, and you can use its abilities to fight bigger and stronger guys, and you progress either through your monster getting equipment or leveling up or evolving or blah blah blah, right? It's a very it's a very expansive, easily exploitable, I will say, but easily ridiculed genre, I'd say. And I never really liked that part of it because I do love it. I'm a grown ass man. I do enjoy Pokemon. I do love Digimon. One of my favorite Final Fantasy games is World of Final Fantasy. You know, I Monster Sanctuary I think is a phenomenal fucking game. I played it 3 times and I've 100%ed it twice. Like Disgaea, technically a monster trainer game because you can get monsters on your team. One of my favorite franchises of all time is Disgaea. I would lump that in there, although that's kind of like, maybe. So, all that being said, today I have 3 demos to show you. I like them all. Some have more polish than others, but it's a demo, so I don't really care, right? We're going to be showcasing 3 for you today. The first one in our presentation is DiceFolk. DiceFolks, I think it's DiceFolk. The second one is called Adore, and the third one is called Synth Wave Beasts. No, just Synth Beasts. Sorry, I do not have a script. Because I was going to do this normally, like, here's 3 episodes basically altogether, but I completely fucked the audio, so it's all gameplay sound, and you can hear a whisper of my voice, and I figured that would just be too annoying, too shitty, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do a voiceover and edit it dauntless, because one, I don't want to scrap this video. 2, I think these games deserve recognition, and I'm not about to re-record. 1, because I'm a lazy fuck, and I'm not going to do that. And 2, I don't really want to be disingenuous, because I kind of like them, and there's one demo where, I'll be honest, I don't want to play again. It's like half an hour, and it felt like 40 minutes. I don't care. I don't want to play it again, but we'll get to that as we go along. So, join in on the ride as we start with the first game of the series. Demo reviews. I'll come up with a better name later on. DiceFolk. I know how to do impromptu speeches, and it shows. So first demo we have here is DiceFolk, and I really do enjoy this game, I gotta say. It's crazy how like instantly enthralling this game was. It's really, really frustrating how short this demo is, I gotta say. It's one of those demos where you immediately want to just jump right in and keep playing. It's bizarre. So let's do the premise of it, right? So, you're like one of many, I assume, like dicers or whatever they're called, and you have to continue on like a roguelike where you can choose where you want to go, but each little spot does different things. Like if I want to go here, it's a fight. If I want to go here, I can heal. If I want to go here, it's a shop. If I want to go here, it's a hard fight, but I get better rewards. Kind of like stereotypical, what do you call it? Stereotypical roguelike light elements, right? But some things really stood out. One, creature design is adorable. I really liked it. I came up with a pretty intensely effective team just out of happenstance. Again, I only played it once all the way through, and I really liked it. Shame the audio was just fucking blasting. Otherwise, I would have loved to just made like a video of it. But you don't want to hear it. Trust me, I didn't want to hear it, and I could edit the audio, and I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. So basically, what I'm gonna do now, is I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna be great at it. To record audio and games separate. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I may do that for shorter videos now that I think about it, yeah. No point in doing that in game. It's hard. I'm rambling. You don't want to hear this. About the game. Fuck. So the designs are really cute. I like the gear system. I like the options. Combat is super, super adorable, you know, because not only do you control your team, you have to force what your enemy does. And that's really cool, because you can make your enemies useless, or you have to force your enemy to kill one of your guys, potentially. I never came down to that, but it's really cool because you get to allocate all damage, and I think that's fucking awesome. I really do. Like, you can come up with some cheeky fucking things. And my only thing for this game is I really wish it gets challenging down the line, right? Because I took it slow and I took it methodically, and I kind of kicked ass. Okay, I kind of didn't struggle at all. And it was just, fuck, I want more of this game. There's nothing left to do it because I didn't really have notes, because all of the things I said were in the video. But as we were going along, but there's enough strategy there. There's enough danger there. I think the final boss wasn't too hard. Simple allocation of damage as what you're allowed to do really made it effective in how you wanted to do it. And if you just have the right mindset of, okay, so I need to take damage, who benefits most from taking this damage, and then you allocate the damage to them, you're going to have a much better time. Unfortunately, I have to cut like a 20-minute thing down to fit 4 minutes, which ish minutes, however long I can record without rambling again. But I gotta say, I'm super excited for this one. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this one. Definitely going to do a proper video when it comes out. I don't know if I'll be playing the demo again, because again, the demo is just like 5 fights, maybe an elite fight, and a boss. It's really nothing. It's 20 minutes. Like, not enough. I just want to like, I want to just invest all my time into it because I like the idea so much. So unfortunately, I probably won't be playing the demo again. But the game, I probably will be playing quite a bit. I think it's going to be a game that I'm going to be playing in between videos, on and off. Maybe do one video on it, maybe not. I'm not sure. Roguelites, I don't really find are that interesting unless you play like an entire run on a stream. Episodic wise, they're not really great. At least through my own personal viewing. If you want that, if you like that, hey, I'll make it work. But this is definitely going to be like a game that I play while I'm rendering or uploading or just whenever the fuck I want to, you know? It's definitely going to be that for sure. I would say expectations of this game, easy 8. If they add a higher difficulty, easy 8. That's my expectations. I want it to be harder. I want it to be, well, not impossible, like fair, but like challenging, right? Especially you're considering what you can do with your enemy team. Be really nice, you know? My expectation would be an 8, and my rating for my overall experience would also be probably about an 8, because I immediately attached to it and I immediately liked it. So there we go. On to the next one. So the next demo we're going to take a look at is a door, and out of the 3 demos today, this one probably had the biggest issues. So first things first, it kind of doesn't feel good to play, I gotta say. It feels clunky. The button scheme is kind of a mess. Sometimes, because like I played it with a controller, right? I played it with a controller. And a lot of the time, what am I looking for? What am I looking for here? What words here? Like I would have to press A, but on the key, but on in the game it would say press F, right? Even though I'm playing a keyboard. So like the feed wasn't there, even though the controls were completely 100% controller. The UI on the game just doesn't recognize what you're using sometimes. It still worked, but instead of press A, it said press F, and A was the button I had to press, and F didn't work, you know? So this is kind of like, strange. Okay, so the premise, before I go into any of the actual things I'm not a fan of the game, let's go into the premise of the game. So the lore is that there's a god of creatures, and there's a god of something else. Okay, I already forgot. The god of something else kills the god of creatures, pretend that it doesn't, and you are the last... You are like a vessel of this giant Crimson Chin-esque dragon, right? It's a dragon with big chin. And you are... I think your name is Luca, and you just got to play the game. There's no explanation why you're there. There's no explanation what your goal is. There's no explanation of what you're doing there is. It's a very non-story heavy demo, yet insisting that it has a story, which is strange. Basically, I like the core concept of the game where you are effectively useless. Your job is to run around and not die. What you have to do is you need to like recruit, I assume, or tame monsters you find around the world, and each monster has something like a unique attack and unique passive to what their attack does. Like if it applies stun, if it's wounded, if it all attacks deal double damage, you know, something like that. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. So layman's terms, you basically become a JoJo character, and you can only attack through your creatures, which would be your stands, that just kind of just spawn out of your being. They go out, they attack, and they come back, you know? Kind of like a Pokemon. But in this game, there's no Pokeball. So they just kind of just like teleport into like this green little ball, and they head towards you. Another thing that this game desperately needs is sound effects, which it has very little of. It has very little sound effects. It also desperately needs voice acting, because there's a lot of characters here, and I don't care about any one of them. They need personality, and dialogue alone isn't going to do that. Not in this day and age. I am sorry. Not with how they were portraying it too. There was one the loading screens are what I assume to be like, not like stripped from the game, but like painted in the same style of the game, and one of them just looks really, really bad. It's like shocking. I'm not going to draw any more attention to it than I already did, because I do really feel bad as one artist to another. Sometimes it's not easy, and sometimes you don't know it looks bad until you are told it by someone else. Okay, most of them look fine. Some of them look pretty good, but one of them in particular that showed up a couple times and was like, oh, this is pretty bad. It looks a little off. That's all. It needs to go back to the drawing board. But as I said, now Lost to the Void. This game demo has been out for a while, right? But the game is officially out as of, I believe, February. However, in February, they also said that they were in the final stages of leaving early access, and it is now, as of recording, July 4th, and the game is still early access, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. But I think it has over 300 reviews. I think positive or overly positive. So, that being said, I'm just going to assume that the full game fixes a lot of the problems, if not all of them, I have in the base game. I do not know this. I did not verify this. I am just assuming, because if the final game was the state that I played, then I think some of them would be disingenuous. And I don't want to believe that, so I'm going to assume that they actually made the game they wanted to make. That being said, there are some things I did like about the game. There are some things I did like. I do like the random generation of the dungeons. I do like how different random dungeons have different rewards, so you're incentivized to just keep going through different things. I incentivize how there's kind of like impromptu crafting with cooking. I do appreciate that, and I do also like how some of the creatures looked. They're kind of just generic animals, but like what if crocodile but with tusks? You know, something like that. You know, it takes a lot for me to be like, oh, that's pretty bad design. You know, I'm very easy to please, especially with this genre. So, anyway, that being said, I'm gonna let you guys kind of ingest kind of what I've been playing with the audio or with the game, and I'll let you kind of figure out for yourself. Okay, so see you in the next one. And finally, the third demo of today's video is Synth Beasts. I fucked it up in the beginning. I apologize. It's not synthetic or synthwave. It's Synth Beasts. And this one is definitely probably the shortest of all the demos. I kind of took my time with it, but still only managed to squeak out maybe 10 minutes. It's not a bad game. There's just not enough in the demo, I think, to really grab you. So the concept of the game is you're like this little alien prototype experiment dude that looks a lot like Mew, all I'm saying. That can turn into whatever he kills, right? So you get like a little dragon that can shoot fireballs as a projectile. You get to become a useless fish that can't do anything, and you get to be like a jellyfish that has like AoE. A little rocket ship that drops mines, etc., etc. And there's supposed to be like different traversals for the game as you progress through and, you know, defeat the other experiments, I suppose. And it's not bad. The design is it's very like I'm willing to go as far to say it's very like Octopath inspired, where it's very high fidelity, pixelated graphics, which I have zero complaints about. The gameplay is very tight, very simple. I need to add, it's very simple gameplay, but it's very tight. Dodges feel like dodges, attacks feel like attacks, and it feels like you can do them interchangeably at any time if you need to be. Almost like what you want in like a bullet hell, although I don't think it's quite nearly as bullet hell as a bullet hell ought to be. But I don't know if they're going for that, so we'll find out. Some noteworthy things that I think the game needs to add is I think there needs to be a color distinction between the projectiles that you shoot and the projectiles enemies shoot, because they're the same color. So when it's hectic and there's a lot of things shooting at you, it's not always easy to determine what is your projectile and what is the enemy's projectile, because they're all the same, and all it takes is one creature that has like a ricochet shot, and you're panicking because you don't want to get hit, obviously, and you don't know what bullets are safe or not because there's no friendly fire. So you can run into your own bullets and be completely fine. So that would probably be my only complaint, is there needs to be like a tint, or there needs to be like an indicator that, hey, these projectiles that you're firing are yours, so you won't get damaged by them. But other than that, I gotta be honest, there's not a whole lot to say here. The monster design is fairly generic, although that's not really a complaint in my book, because it works. I like pixelated graphics a lot. It looks really cool, it plays really well, that's all I really gotta say. I don't really have too many complaints because there just wasn't enough to complain about. Just like how there's not really a whole lot to compliment, other than it looks cool. The story was okay. It wasn't like super enticing. I didn't need to know what happened next. And when the demo ended, I also didn't really feel like I wanted to play anymore. I kind of was like, okay, it's done. I can be done with it, you know. So it's strange. But I will probably check this game out through YouTube when it comes out to determine if I want it or not. But as it is now, with as little as it is, and granted, I'm not knocking them for having a short demo. I do appreciate a short demo. It's just, there's pros and cons of having a long demo, and there's pros and cons of having a short demo. And biggest pro of a short demo is you don't get enough to come up with anything concrete, right? It's all just like, well, I get, it feels like there wasn't, you know. So I mean, from what I saw, I was content with what the game was, and I don't think I'll come back to it. I will look at it when it comes out, but right now, I don't think this one's for me, Chief. I don't. Because it kind of feels like, it kind of gives off like Carrion vibes, which like, I think that was that game where like you're like the little red carnivorous sack of flesh, and I'm like, okay, that game was fun for like an hour, and then it got really boring, and because you just do the same thing over and over again, and that's the last thing I want for this game. So that's kind of all I have to say on it. I'll let you guys finish out the rest, and see you to the end. So this concludes, first and foremost, admittedly, train wreck of a video. This did not go out the way I wanted it to, obviously. I should have taken precautions. I should have lowered the volume down because it would have been better to hear me rather than the game, but instead you only hear the game and you can barely hear me. I think ultimately I did leave the videos in check, although I did edit out as best as I could. I am not an editing technician. I know the bare minimum, if that, you know. But anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. If I do this again, I'm definitely going to be better at it. So don't lose faith in me yet. I'm doing everything on my own with very, very, very few internet diving. And if so, that's only to find like settings or how to implement a mechanic that I know is in the software to begin with. But anyway, don't heart me too much because I know it's bad. I know it's not as good as it could have been, and I do feel bad about it. But I do also think that I want this video up, and I don't want to waste it because it's already been around 2 hours investment, and I could afford to scrap it. I just don't want to, and I think that what I have, I'm content with. I'm not thrilled, but I'm content with. But anyway, I'm going to have to leave this episode here. I hope you'll have a good day. I hope you'll have a day. And I hope you'll have a fucking day. Yes, what fitting way to end this episode up with, admittedly, a purposely botched outro. See you in the next video. Peace.